This is enlarging process, and we're starting with your eye imagery. It could be any imagery though that you want to enlarge. So step one is to find your original image size. To the nearest half or whole inch. So we're going to take our ruler, and this is a little more than 7.5 by almost 4. So what I'm going to do is take a look at the piece, and there's more negative space on this side. So I'm going to cut that side off at 7.5, move my ruler up, make another mark at 7.5, cut that portion off. Then this way, we said almost 4. You usually want things to be weighted at the bottom, so we're going to add to the bottom, which means that we'll just have to come up with more of her face, and we can easily do that. That's like just add more of her cheek, add more of her nose, etc. So now our image size is 7.5 by 4. Alright, so then the next step is to realize how big are my squares going to be on here. So I already know that they have to be every half inch because this is 7.5. I couldn't go inch, 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 half inch. They all have to be the same. So they're going to be every half inch. And then, so we are going to measure every half inch and make a mark. Remember, we make our line and not a dot, so that when we connect these, eventually they will turn into a long line instead of trying to find the center of a dot. We move it across to get an even area. Okay, then we are going to line those 2 dashes up and make a line. Remember, this one can be darker, and if you feel confident, you could even do this in pen. I wouldn't ever use marker though, because you don't want to take up too much space, because what you're covering up is part of what you want to have drawn eventually, so you don't want to have too much space covered up. This can be dark, but your actual paper that you're drawing on, you want those ghost lines. So every half inch you're making your mark, and then you're going to be numbering left to right, top to bottom, all the way around, and you're numbering the space, not the lines. Okay, flipping it this way, every half inch. Double check that I had that measurement correct. Half whole, half. Move across. So if we have 4 by 7.5, and I don't want these to be so big that this project would take you, a month to finish. So I'm thinking twice as big. So I want you to start thinking in your head what 4 by 7.5, what doubling that would be. Just think about it in your head. And if we're doubling that size, then we also have to double the size of our boxes, because the same amount of boxes are on here will be on your next one. So then we number 1, 2, 3, 4. So 15 this way. And so if we have the original size as 4 by 7.5, then if we're doubling it,
Wait, so we're also supposed to do value?
yes, you'll be doing shading in it and everything too.
8 by 15.
8 by 15 every inch. So if we doubled this size, we'll be doubling the squares too. So every inch, we'll be doing 8 by 15.